In the quiet town of Willowbrook, nestled deep in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, there stood an old mansion that cast a long shadow over its surroundings. Locals whispered of its dark history, a history that stretched back over a century, shrouded in mystery and tragedy. The mansion had once belonged to the prestigious Vanderbilt family, renowned for their wealth and influence. But one fateful night in the winter of 1898, during a grand masquerade ball held in honor of their daughter, Annabelle, disaster struck. As the clock struck midnight, a fire erupted, consuming the mansion in a blaze that could be seen for miles around. Panic spread through the partygoers as they scrambled for safety, but amidst the chaos, young Annabelle Vanderbilt disappeared without a trace. In the years that followed, the mansion lay abandoned, its once glamorous halls falling into decay. Rumors circulated among the townsfolk. Some claimed to have seen a spectral figure wandering the overgrown gardens at night, a young woman in a flowing white gown. Others spoke of strange lights flickering in the upper windows, or the sound of music drifting on the wind. Decades passed, and the Vanderbilt mansion became a place of legend, its secrets buried beneath layers of dust and time. Few dared to venture near it, except for the occasional thrill-seeker or curious historian, hoping to uncover the truth behind the tragedy. Then, in the summer of 2023, a renowned paranormal investigator named Dr. Elizabeth Gray arrived in Willowbrook. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and a fearless determination, she set out to unravel the mysteries of the Vanderbilt mansion once and for all. Over the course of several nights, Dr. Gray and her team conducted extensive investigations, capturing eerie EVPs and anomalous readings on their instruments. But it was during a stormy midnight vigil that they made their most chilling discovery. As lightning illuminated the mansion, Dr. Gray glimpsed a figure standing at the top of the grand staircase. A figure clad in a white gown, her features obscured by shadows. Before she could react, the figure vanished, leaving behind only a faint echo of haunting laughter. Driven by both fear and fascination, Dr. Gray delved deeper into Annabelle Vanderbilt's tragic tale. Through old diaries and newspaper clippings, she pieced together a narrative of forbidden love, jealousy, and betrayal. It seemed that Annabelle had been in love with a young stable hand, a romance fiercely opposed by her family. Desperate to be together, they had planned to elope on the night of the masquerade ball, a plan that ended in tragedy. As Dr. Gray uncovered the truth, strange occurrences began to escalate. Objects moved on their own, cold spots chilled the air, and the laughter of a woman echoed through the corridors at night. It was as if Annabelle Vanderbilt's spirit had awakened, restless and seeking justice. In the end, Dr. Gray presented her findings to the town council, urging them to preserve the Vanderbilt mansion as a historical landmark. As for Annabelle Vanderbilt herself, her spirit seemed to find peace once the truth of her story was brought to light. The mansion, now restored and open to the public, stands as a testament to a bygone era and to the enduring mysteries that still linger in its halls. With the Vanderbilt mansion restored to its former glory, the town of Willowbrook experienced a resurgence of interest and visitors from far and wide. Dr. Elizabeth Gray's findings had captivated the public imagination, and tours of the mansion were booked months in advance as people flocked to uncover the secrets that had haunted the estate for so long. As the mansion reopened its doors, whispers of paranormal encounters continued to swirl. Guests reported seeing fleeting glimpses of a woman in white out of the corner of their eyes, or hearing faint strains of music echoing through the halls late at night. Some claimed to have felt a cold presence brush past them, leaving a chill in its wake. Dr. Gray herself returned to Willowbrook periodically, drawn by the unfinished business she felt with Annabelle Vanderbilt's story. She conducted further investigations, refining her techniques and delving deeper into the mysteries that still lingered within the mansion's walls. Each visit yielded new insights and evidence, further solidifying the legend of the Vanderbilt haunting. One particularly stormy night, as Dr. Gray reviewed recordings from her latest investigation, she noticed something unusual. A voice, clear and distinct, speaking in hushed tones. The voice seemed to plead for forgiveness, its words laden with sorrow and remorse. Could it be Annabelle herself, finally ready to share her side of the story? Driven by curiosity and a desire to help the restless spirit find peace, Dr. Gray embarked on her most daring investigation yet. Armed with her equipment and a renewed sense of purpose, she ventured deep into the mansion's labyrinthine corridors, following the faint echoes of the voice. In the heart of the mansion, Dr. Gray discovered a hidden chamber, concealed behind a false wall. Inside, she found a small wooden chest, its contents untouched for decades. With trembling hands, she opened the chest and uncovered a collection of letters, yellowed with age but still legible. The letters revealed a heartbreaking tale of love and betrayal, penned by Annabelle herself. They spoke of her forbidden romance with the stable hand, their secret meetings under the cover of night, and their plans to elope on the night of the masquerade ball. But they also spoke of betrayal, of a trusted confidant who had discovered their plans and sabotaged their escape, leading to the tragic fire that claimed Annabelle's life. As Dr. Gray pieced together the final chapters of Annabelle Vanderbilt's story, a sense of closure settled over the mansion. The ghostly encounters grew less frequent, replaced by an atmosphere of peace and reverence. Visitors to the mansion now came not just for the thrill of the paranormal, but to pay homage to the young woman whose life had been cut short by tragedy. In recognition of her contributions, the town of Willowbrook honored Dr. Elizabeth Gray with a plaque outside the mansion, commemorating her tireless efforts in uncovering the truth. The Vanderbilt mansion became a symbol of resilience and redemption, its halls echoing with the whispers of the past, but also the promise of a future filled with hope and understanding. Months passed since Dr. Gray uncovered the hidden chamber and revealed the tragic tale of Annabelle Vanderbilt to the world. The mansion continued to attract visitors, but now they came not only seeking thrills, but also to pay respects to the young woman whose spirit had lingered for so long. As the seasons changed and autumn painted the surrounding mountains in hues of gold and crimson, Dr. Gray received an unexpected letter. It was addressed from an elderly woman named Margaret, who claimed to be a descendant of the Vanderbilt family. Margaret explained that she had read about Dr. Gray's discoveries with great interest and felt compelled to share a family secret that had been passed down through generations. Intrigued, Dr. Gray arranged to meet Margaret in Willowbrook. They sat in a quaint tea room on the outskirts of town, surrounded by the fading light of the afternoon. Margaret, with trembling hands and a voice thick with emotion, began to recount her family's version of the events that had unfolded on that fateful night. According to Margaret, Annabelle Vanderbilt had indeed planned to elope with the stable hand, Thomas, whom she loved deeply despite her family's objections. However, there was another twist to the tale. A jealous suitor named Edward, who had long harbored feelings for Annabelle, had discovered their plans and vowed to put an end to their happiness. Edward, it turned out, had orchestrated the fire that consumed the mansion that night. His intentions were not just to prevent Annabelle's elopement, but also to eliminate any competition for her affections. In the chaos of the fire, Edward had abducted Annabelle, intending to force her to marry him once she had nowhere else to turn. As Margaret recounted these shocking revelations, Dr. Gray listened intently, piecing together the puzzle that had haunted the Vanderbilt mansion for decades. The truth was darker and more complex than anyone had imagined. A tale of jealousy, betrayal, and a young woman's fight for freedom. Determined to uncover the full truth, Dr. Gray delved deeper into Margaret's family history. Together, they unearthed old letters, journals, and even a hidden diary belonging to Annabelle herself. Each piece of evidence painted a clearer picture of the events leading up to that tragic night, revealing the depths of Edward's obsession and the lengths he had gone to in order to possess Annabelle. Armed with this newfound knowledge, Dr. Gray returned to the Vanderbilt mansion once more. This time, she conducted a series of experiments and rituals aimed at communicating directly with Annabelle's spirit. In the quiet solitude of the mansion's library, amidst the scent of old books and the flickering light of candles, Dr. Gray called out to Annabelle, urging her to reveal herself and find peace. To her surprise, a gentle presence filled the room, a faint whisper of laughter, a brush of cold air against her skin. Dr. Gray felt a profound sense of connection with Annabelle, as if they were two souls bound together by a shared quest for justice. In the weeks that followed, Dr. Gray continued her research, uncovering more about Edward's fate and the repercussions of his actions. It seemed that justice had been served in an unexpected way. Edward had met a tragic end shortly after Annabelle's disappearance, his guilt driving him to madness and ultimately leading to his demise. With the full story finally laid bare, Dr. Gray published her findings in a scholarly journal, ensuring that Annabelle Vanderbilt's legacy would never be forgotten. The mansion, now a beacon of historical significance and a testament to the enduring power of truth, continued to welcome visitors from all corners of the world. As for Dr. Gray, she left Willowbrook with a sense of fulfillment, knowing that she had helped uncover a long-buried mystery and bring closure to a restless spirit. She continued her work as a paranormal investigator, guided by the lessons learned in the shadowy halls of the Vanderbilt mansion, a place where history whispered secrets and ghosts found peace at last. Several years passed after Dr. Gray's groundbreaking discoveries at the Vanderbilt mansion. The town of Willowbrook flourished as tourists flocked to visit the restored estate, drawn by its rich history and the lingering aura of mystery that still surrounded it. The mansion itself had become a symbol of resilience and redemption, a place where the past intertwined with the present in unexpected ways. Dr. Gray, now a respected figure in the field of paranormal research, continued her work across various historic sites and renowned haunted locations. Yet, the Vanderbilt mansion held a special place in her heart. She often reflected on the lessons learned during her time in Willowbrook, the importance of compassion in understanding the restless spirits of the past, and the transformative power of uncovering hidden truths. One chilly autumn afternoon, as Dr. Gray prepared to embark on her latest investigation, she received an unexpected phone call. It was Margaret, the descendant of the Vanderbilt family whom Dr. Gray had met years ago in Willowbrook. Margaret's voice trembled with excitement as she shared news that would once again draw Dr. Gray back to the enigmatic mansion. "Elizabeth," Margaret began, her tone both eager and hesitant, "I believe we may have found something extraordinary." Intrigued by Margaret's cryptic message, Dr. Gray agreed to meet her at the Vanderbilt mansion the following week. As she arrived in Willowbrook, the familiar sight of the mansion against the backdrop of autumn foliage brought back a flood of memories. Margaret greeted her warmly at the entrance, her eyes bright with anticipation. Together, they ventured into the heart of the mansion, where Margaret revealed a hidden chamber that had been uncovered during recent renovations. Inside, they found a collection of old photographs, letters, and artifacts that shed new light on Annabelle Vanderbilt's life before the tragic fire. Among the artifacts was a beautifully preserved journal belonging to Annabelle herself. Its pages told a tale of passion and rebellion, of a young woman determined to carve out her own destiny despite the constraints of society and family expectations. Annabelle's words painted a vivid picture of her dreams, her struggles, and her unwavering love for Thomas, the stable hand who had captured her heart. As Dr. Gray pored over the journal, she felt a deep sense of connection to Annabelle's spirit, a sense that their paths had intertwined across time, bridging the gap between past and present. The revelations within the journal offered a glimpse into a life filled with hope and despair, courage and heartbreak. With Margaret's blessing, Dr. Gray embarked on a new phase of her research, determined to share Annabelle Vanderbilt's story with the world once more. She collaborated with historians, archivists, and descendants of those who had known Annabelle, piecing together a comprehensive narrative that celebrated her legacy and honored her memory. The publication of Dr. Gray's findings sparked renewed interest in Annabelle Vanderbilt and the Vanderbilt mansion. Scholars and enthusiasts alike flocked to Willowbrook to learn more about the courageous young woman who had defied convention and pursued love against all odds. In the years that followed, the Vanderbilt mansion continued to thrive as a cultural landmark and a testament to the enduring power of storytelling. Dr. Gray's contributions earned her international acclaim, but she remained grounded in her commitment to uncovering the truths hidden within history's shadows. As she stood before the mansion one last time, the setting sun casting a warm glow over its weathered facade, Dr. Gray felt a profound sense of closure. The mysteries that had once haunted the Vanderbilt mansion had been unveiled, its ghosts laid to rest by the passage of time and the resilience of the human spirit. With a final glance back at the mansion, Dr. Gray turned away, knowing that she had fulfilled her mission to illuminate the past, honor the legacy of Annabelle Vanderbilt, and ensure that her story would endure for generations to come. Dr. Gray's work on the Vanderbilt mansion had left an indelible mark on both her professional career and her personal journey. As she moved forward with new investigations and research projects, the lessons learned from Willowbrook continued to guide her. She became known not only for her expertise in paranormal phenomena, but also for her compassionate approach to understanding the stories behind the hauntings. Years passed, and Dr. Gray found herself drawn back to Willowbrook periodically. The town had embraced its newfound fame as the home of the Vanderbilt mansion, weaving its history into the fabric of daily life. Local businesses thrived on tourism, offering guided tours that delved into the mansion's rich past and the lingering mysteries that still captivated visitors. During one of her return visits, Dr. Gray received an invitation from the mayor of Willowbrook to attend a special event commemorating the anniversary of the mansion's restoration. It was to be a grand affair, celebrating not only the historical significance of the estate, but also the enduring spirit of Annabelle Vanderbilt and the resilience of the town itself. As Dr. Gray arrived at the mansion on a crisp autumn evening, she was greeted warmly by familiar faces, town officials, historians, and descendants of the Vanderbilt family who had come to pay homage to their ancestors. The mansion, bathed in the soft glow of lanterns and candles, exuded an air of quiet elegance that spoke of centuries past. During the event, Dr. Gray was invited to speak about her discoveries and the journey that had led her to uncover the truth about Annabelle Vanderbilt. She shared stories of ghostly encounters, historical revelations, and the profound impact that the mansion had made on her own life. Her words resonated with the audience, drawing them into the captivating tale of love, betrayal, and redemption that had unfolded within those hallowed walls. As she concluded her speech, a hush fell over the gathering. Dr. Gray looked out at the faces before her, some filled with awe, others with quiet contemplation. She knew that the Vanderbilt mansion had become more than just a historical landmark. It had become a symbol of hope and resilience, a place where the past intersected with the present in meaningful ways. After the speeches and ceremonies had ended, Dr. Gray found herself wandering through the mansion once more. In the dim light of the moon filtering through the windows, she felt a sense of peace settle over her. The restless spirits that had once haunted these halls seemed to have found solace, their stories now woven into the tapestry of Willowbrook's collective memory. As she reached the grand staircase where she had first glimpsed the ethereal presence of Annabelle Vanderbilt years ago, Dr. Gray paused. She closed her eyes and whispered a silent thank you to the young woman who had entrusted her with the truth of her life and the legacy she had left behind. Outside, the town of Willowbrook bustled with life as visitors continued to explore the mansion and absorb its storied past. Dr. Gray knew that her work here was far from over. There were always new mysteries to uncover, new stories to illuminate. But in that moment, standing in the quiet embrace of the Vanderbilt mansion, she knew that she had found a place where her own journey had come full circle. With a final look back at the mansion, Dr. Gray smiled. The echoes of the past seemed to whisper their approval in the rustling leaves and the gentle breeze. The Vanderbilt mansion stood as a testament to the enduring power of history and the profound impact of understanding the secrets that lay buried within its walls. And as she walked away, Dr. Elizabeth Gray carried with her not only the memories of Willowbrook and its haunted mansion but also the knowledge that some mysteries, when unlocked with compassion and dedication, could lead to healing and transformation for both the living and the departed souls who called those hallowed grounds their home. Dr. Gray continued her career as a respected paranormal investigator, but her time in Willowbrook and the Vanderbilt mansion remained a touchstone in her life. She traveled the world, exploring other haunted sites, uncovering stories of lost loves, tragic betrayals, and unfinished business. Each investigation deepened her understanding of the complexities of the human experience and reinforced her commitment to bridging the gap between the living and the dead. Years passed, and Dr. Gray's work garnered international acclaim. She authored several books detailing her most compelling cases, including the groundbreaking revelations from the Vanderbilt mansion. Her writings not only captivated readers, but also inspired a new generation of researchers to approach paranormal phenomena with empathy and scholarly rigor. Despite her successes, Dr. Gray always carried a piece of Willowbrook with her, a reminder of the profound impact that one place and one story could have on a life. She maintained a correspondence with Margaret and other descendants of the Vanderbilt family, exchanging research and insights that further enriched their understanding of Annabelle's legacy. As Dr. Gray approached retirement age, she reflected on the journey that had led her from skeptic to believer, from investigator to storyteller. The Vanderbilt mansion, with its secrets unearthed and its ghosts at peace, stood as a testament to her life's work, a legacy of compassion, curiosity, and a relentless pursuit of truth. On a quiet summer afternoon, Dr. Gray returned to Willowbrook one last time. The town had changed subtly over the years, but the spirit of resilience and reverence for history remained palpable. She visited the Vanderbilt mansion, now a well-preserved museum and educational center, where visitors from around the globe gathered to learn about its storied past. As she walked through the mansion's halls, Dr. Gray felt a sense of closure wash over her. The whispers of the past had faded, replaced by an enduring sense of peace and understanding. She paused at the grand staircase, where she had first encountered the ghostly presence of Annabelle Vanderbilt so many years ago. With a smile of gratitude, Dr. Gray whispered a final farewell to the mansion and the spirits that had shared their stories with her. She knew that her life's work had left an indelible mark on the world, a legacy of uncovering mysteries, honoring the past, and bringing solace to restless souls. Leaving Willowbrook behind, Dr. Gray retired to a quiet seaside town, where she spent her days writing, reflecting, and occasionally revisiting her favorite cases. She remained an active voice in the paranormal community, mentoring young investigators and continuing to advocate for a compassionate approach to understanding the mysteries of the unknown. As she watched the sunset over the ocean one evening, surrounded by the serenity of her new life, Dr. Gray knew that her journey had come full circle. The Vanderbilt mansion and the town of Willowbrook had been more than just a chapter in her career. They had been a transformative experience that had shaped her understanding of life, death, and the enduring power of the human spirit. And so, with a heart full of gratitude and a mind filled with memories, Dr. Elizabeth Gray embraced the peace that retirement brought, knowing that the mysteries she had uncovered would continue to inspire wonder and curiosity in generations to come.